the local native populace, but we now have the opportunity to conduct diplomacy with them. One of the tribes, named Powhatan, has expressed a lust for our silver and spears. We also need to expand our territory beyond our little harbor. Perhaps we could come to an accord with them in the future, where they might migrate south in exchange for some of our wealth and weapons of war. It would be an effective way to conserve our critically low manpower. Peace in our time. This is actually a very good mission. You essentially give them some money, depending on how well they like you. So, if we say spend time, making sure they like us, and we might be able to get them out of here and make our life a little bit easier. It also gives us a full province straight away. But if we get 4 cities before we do this, we actually get some good bonuses to it, such as it costing less. New lands, old faith. The priests and deacons who came with us on our journey across the sea are using their positions in the community to help keep our people united in the face of great hardship, holding sermons and offering aid to those who need it. Even if it means relinquishing some of our authority, we must admit that we need their help. We now get the clergy, and it's 50%, useful already. We can't select one of these because we need to reform our religion first, which is fine. We now have a large clergy state, so we can now use the clergy to be to do stuff for us, which is pretty good, to be fair. Pretty useful. So we need to get the merchant class. We need to get 10,000 men. We need to take this province, essentially. We don't have to do it by killing them. We can just wait and get it that way. We also need all the provinces in the bay to get this one as well. Now, all of these, this is the hardest mission is the true nation because it takes up a lot of other stuff. But anyway, organizing the masses. So right now, we have established a basic settlement. It isn't pretty all that large, but it is our home now. We've established a basic militia for defending the town, set aside some land for farming, and cleared a local forest for wood. The overseers that run these projects are requesting more workers. However, there are not enough for all of them. Where should we send the peasants? We're going to send them to the farms. Yes. Manpower right now isn't as important. We have 6,000 men. That will be enough for now, as we are 2 techs ahead of them, and we have Skanderberg, who is an absolutely amazing general. So all you need to do is wait. You fabricate a claim on me. But you and I are not friends. That's... Alright, fair enough. That's... If I need to kill you, I will. I'm not afraid to. You know what? You've got claim on me. I'm gonna get claim on you. I don't accept the idea of you claiming me without me claiming you back. So, militia matters. The aristocracy that ventured west with us have grown increasingly concerned about the small-scale raids by the red-skinned barbarians native to this land. To that end, they have begun recruiting small bands of their kith and kin to defend the Roman holdings and conduct counter-raids. By appointing a general unconnected with the aristocracy, these small-scale militia can easily be turned into a unified force. And the only question that remains is where best to deploy them. Send more to patrol the farmlands, because we do have silk, so we'll be making silk sooner than later. Odessos is done. We can make a deal with them straight away. We'll wait. We're going to do this one first. Let's colonize here. So we're not going to read this mission every time, but we will read it the first time because, it's only polite. Now that we have founded our new capital, it's time to expand our influence to the lands that surround it, as this would provide a buffer zone that any enemies must first pass through. We also hope to one day benefit from what that may become the cultural and economic center of our empire. So it now flips to our religion and our culture. Production research flawed. That's fine. We are still losing money, unfortunately, because we do not have a good... We have a no goods in the capital, which is fine. I kind of want to get to 4 cities, so this becomes a little cheaper. And also, I want to go to the Diplo cost. So, we'll not for an alliance for now. So there we go. Diplo cost gone. Now we want to make it cheaper. But yeah, hello everyone in chat as well. Please do feel free to lurk. I'm not a big worry if you're lurking or anything. It's If anything, lurking is perfectly fine. But a modest church. Local religious leaders are saying that it's time for us to build a church dedicated to God. As we are currently limited in resources, we can only build a basic church using wood and stone. The Emperor's advisor reminded him that if we paid for it out of his own treasury, the church would likely consider themselves in his debt. I actually have the money to do that for a change, so we're going to do it. Normally, I don't actually have the money by now. Taking over there early on will actually be a massive bonus for us. And as much as I don't want to be too aggressive, I do want that land. Let's pay for our army, because I am going to attack them. They have the good old trade good of copper. Ow. Oh, that really hurt. My arm was on my elbow was on the edge of the goddamn desk. I don't know if that hurt. Okay, you hate the Piscataway as well. So if we put them right there, we fabricate that. They're interested in joining if we give them something. We will not be giving them anything, but no one else is going to help them, so it's just a straight up war. Now, our 3-star general versus their 1-star. Yeah, pretty clear what's going to happen. We're going to win. Native assimilation in Alexandria. Perfect. Yeah, once we've got this done. Oh, the apostate. Gregorus Gemistos Plephion was a brilliant mind, held in high esteem by the Basilius as well as his brother and father. He circulated Plato's teachings to the barbarous West and gave the Latin some small measure of enlightenment. For this, as well as his friendship with the Basilius and his advanced age, he was born in 1355. He was brought along with the fleet of exiles. Now, however, we have seen his true colors. He is worse than a heretic or a heathen. He is an apostate, one who has turned his back on God. He sings hymns to Zeus and other pagan deities and teaches the mysticism of Zoroaster. And his intelligence and charisma is such that even a cardinal Aserion, who made his way onto the fleet, has fallen under his sway. With such influential and high-ranking backer, Plephon's ideas have begun affecting the lower classes, and even some of the rural farmers and woodmen who were ranged inland when the fleet landed. Perhaps his worst crime, however, is that the repudiates the Romanness of our people, declaring them solely to be pagan Hellenes instead of righteous Romans. The apostate Neoplantis is popular enough and held in high regard Pyropeal esteem, where arresting him would be unwise. In addition, he's sure to die anyway within a few years of natural cause in extreme age, but he is still dangerous and should be watched. But we now have the religious wars event. We start out equal between the two. I do know where I'm going with this as well, so yeah, I will say that I very much know exactly where I'm going with this. This is currently going to spark within about 8 years. It will not more than likely spark within the this small stream, but it will probably spark the next time we stream, which will more than likely be Friday. I will, of course, post, if anybody is interested, I do post on my Twitter, my YouTube, and my Discord to say when streams are happening. Our new home. Beautiful. We can now do Taming the Land. I'm going to wait for now. Oh, wait. Oh, silk production can resume straight away. That's awesome. We're going to do here first. Okay, it has been a difficult time adjusting to this new land, and most troubling of all has been the local crops. Those we brought from home have found it nigh on impossible to take root in this foreign soil, while those native to this land do not respond well to our methods as they should. Careful rationing and foraging what we could from the land has been able to sustain us for some time, but now, finally, those measures can be done away with. With careful help from the more friendly natives, we have come to tame this land and know it just as well as we did our old. Irrigation ditches have been dug, and fertile fields are now overflowing with the first of our new crops, just waiting for the harvest. A year of plenty is upon us now, and we can only hope for many more to come. You said in 1 day game. It's been a day. Visitors from the north. Well, I guess it's because they had another bloody thing going first. We have received a delegation from a previously unknown group of peoples to the north. They seem to be the remnants of the Varangian colonies that were fought abandoned centuries ago. According to historical documents, the Varangians of old made fearsome raiders and eventually became distinguished traders. in their own right, but only became because raiding became impossible to accomplish with the advancement of fortifications in Europe. As our coast still lay unprotected, we saw it fit to send a delegation of our own to the north to talk to the leaders of these Varangians. Frontier Pronia. We have unassigned merchants. We will just collect from the Bay of Ecclesia. Several Dynatoi have repeatedly petitioned the Basileus, anxious about their position. Throughout the last years, they have been relegated to a mere bureaucrats and foremen, re-establishing our institutions and guiding the expansion efforts. They fear the eventual decline of rights and are urgently seeking for ways to entrench their position in their resurgent nation. Conversely, the Basileus has been growing increasingly worried about the lack of resources to fund state projects. We may be able to kill two birds with one stone here, as the Dynatoi have been on the receiving end of many resources in exchange for their services and continued loyalty. We can offer them the pick of land throughout the first pick of land throughout the new settlements in exchange for immediate payment. Being nobility, they will be offered this land alongside the privilege of the Pronia, which confers temporary tax-exempt status. This would give them the head start as landowners compared to the commoners, having both the best land and a decades of tax-exempt profits. I would take that deal. What is that? I forget what it does. It also takes away our absolutism and gives away one of our penalties. That's fine. The amount of money that's going to give us is amazing. The Varangian colonies. We're up here. Our diplomats have finally arrived at the northern Varangian colonies and were quite surprised. They were expecting barbaric dwellings filled with horned, paled men, but instead they found quite the large wooden city that housed a strange mix of both pale and native men. And while one could say the city was undeveloped by our standards, their apparent success in such terrible isolation was a marvelous sight to behold. When our diplomats were finally received by their leaders, they were given two trade propositions, one with the most northern of the colonies, called Helluland, promising a stable source of naval materials from the ongoing naval operations, and the other with the southern Markland, that proposed instead a wide array of exotic ivory, furs, and oils. The northern colonies made it clear that this was a diplomatic play, and that accepting one would exclude the other. They're essentially both wank, but I'll take the exotic goods, as I always do, because I don't build ships for a long time, which is probably my own downside, but as you can see, we're now making a profit, and bribe growing more acceptable. What the guys, we just got here. Give it a few more years before you start accepting bribes. Damn it. I don't normally conquer them this quickly. Kind of surprised I've conquered them so efficiently. Yeah, we just need 4 cities. So once we take this, we can actually pay them to move straight away. We'll maintain our diplomat there because we don't want to move them out of there until we know that they're fine with us. But anyway, if anyone is expecting this to be like a really good, like, oh, I'm doing really good, I'm super duper what's the word? I'm doing super duper, min-maxing strats. I hate to disappoint you, but I'm not. I am simply just playing because I am having fun. We will increase autonomy, and we will of course core it, and we will leave our army there for now. Formation of the Barbori councils. We have been growing power in these lands for some time now, and it is no surprise to us that the Barbori of this land have been hesitant to deal with us. The cultural shock of civilization to a barbarian is a mighty thing, but now at last they have managed to come down from the awe. Our expansion has overrun several native tribe lands, placing them within our borders and therefore our subjects by technicality. Or is it? Several chiefs, warriors, and other officials form these subsumed natives, have formed their own small councils, and now seeking orders with us both as a subject and an independent group. The way these Barbori describe themselves, they accept our rule and our laws, but demand the right to govern themselves in return. They shall listen to and obey, and assist in dealing with others of their kind. In return, we respect their right to the land, which shall allow them to live as an autonomous communes within our empire. Their greatest demand is that we agree to leave their ancestral lands untouched, left to them and their people, and to not set foot upon them without permission. In some cases, these lands are easily given, but in others, there are some lands with the most potential benefit to us in the long term, and just ignoring them would be a waste of resources for the sake of sparing the feelings of a few Barbori. You're disappointed I'm having fun? I would be too. We can easily accept everything else, even if the unorthodox relationship is not pleasing to us. But on the subject of the ancestral lands, there is much to be debated, and our answer must be firm. No, we listen, but our word is final. Now we can deal with the power turn for 50 gold, so there we go. Deal accepted. The power turn have accepted our deal. The villagers, now equipped with crossbow and light iron armor, they're still going to be easy to beat, are packing up and marching south as we speak, while our settlers move in and take their place. They do get equal military level with us though, which is the only downside. But they're still, we can still beat them. We'll expand quicker than they will. It's fine. We can now expand our lands. The lands around Constantinopolis are vast, wealthy, and hardly used by the native inhabitants. Let us repel the natives and send our colonists in their stead. A true nation can now be finished 5 years earlier. So at the moment, 1515. If we do all of these, which ones is it? It's the other one. Yes, that one, and I believe this one as well. All right. So we now reform the military. A serious problem has recently been brought to our attention. We are trapped in this new world with little manpower and virtually no wealth, and yet our military is still operating on the old Roman model, a model which is costly to maintain for not enough benefit. We must reform the army if we are to long survive the Elysia. So we can conscript the native, which gives us mercenary manpower. I never do that. It's expand the militia for me. Expand the militia. And silk production resumed. It has taken some years since we arrived in this new land, but we've managed to breed sufficient moths to produce what we call Skoros silk, an ancient production method that was preceded by more modern techniques. The silk produces visibly lower quality than what we brought with us, but the lack of rival product easily makes up for this. It's already worth 4 gold. We still have the looming disaster of the what's it called? The religious wars, but for the most part, we're fine. Obviously, we're losing money because we're paying for our army and we're rooting out corruption. But we're only paying for our army because this province is probably going to rise up. Priest murdered by crowd. A clergyman was found to be murdered on the edges of our territory. While the locals were quick to just deflect blame to the natives, the patriarch suggested otherwise. Instead, he has accused the locals themselves of conspiring against the devout and having murdered the priests themselves, using the natives as a scapegoat for their actions. Blame the locals and have them tried for being heretics. We are going for a very specific run this time, unlike the last time I played this. And we'll do hostile trading policy because we're making no money here anyway, so we may as well... No, not hostile trading, crap. It was established communications I wanted. Whoops. Well, I'm going to build a spy network here then, and we're going to go kill you two. They're going to grow pretty well, but it's not really going to be a problem. As long as we go quicker, which we will, it's not going to be a problem. Immigration from near Alexandria. As we see it settle the frontier, the native population of the area is slowly drowned out by the waves of settlers. While with the foraging lands now accessible and opportunities for work taken by the new people, they have mostly emigrated from the region. Damn. They unfortunately lost... We've unfortunately lost some development here because the tribal development they wanted to leave. Shame. A shame. Let's keep going. Ugh. Yeah, we're making barely any money, which is fine. I mean, we're not really needing to make money. It's 50% I need to provoke, isn't it? Yeah. Nothing there we want to do. Yeah, for now, we're just chilling. Change army doctrine? No, thank you. Alright, we're breaking even again. That's what I like to see. Petition for redress. One of the local Dinatorian has been upset and mistreated by his subjects. A delegation of peasants will come before the Basilis to ask for redress. Agreeing to this would be popular but with the pedantry, but it's okay, so it's just a normal event. Sure. I can't really have 6,000 men revolting at the moment. I'm not really using my admin for anything else, so we'll get the tech. We can now build churches, which is going to be useful, but we already got one Alesia, which is useful. Immigration from Odysseus. Oh, we need to increase the Barbori's opinion of us. They're at 25. I think it's open offices that I do. Or is it Pax Romani? No, it's divided at Impera, isn't it? I'm confused. Oh, it gives less manpower. This one gives local state maintenance. Divide et impera for now. We will spare no. Admin is useful to have. Go for cordial right now. Roman Renaissance. Since we landed in this Elysian fields, we have faced many hardships, which has led us to desperately survey every piece of knowledge brought with us in the search of solutions. This tendency has only increased with the rise of the Gemestos Plethon, who works tirelessly to promote the works of Plato, Plotinus, Proclus, and other Neo-Platonist writers. This is all sparked a feverish revival, a renaissance throughout the land. The writing of the ancient Latin and Greek philosophers and scholars is being restored, inspiring new philosophers among the populace. New ideals for rulers, as well as those who are ruled, are quickly spreading throughout the land. This Roman humanism focuses on one's tendency to the afterlife with a perfect mind and body, which can only be attained with a rigorous education and physical training. One must thus transform himself into an Homo Universale, the universal man, combining a great intellect, physical excellence, and the ability to function honorably in virtually any situation. A true Renaissance humanist is an expert on everything from politics to philosophy to art, textual analysis, music, and architecture. The Renaissance is now ready to reshape the new world to fit a better classical ideals. Oh, damn. So let's see. What are we going to be known by? Scholarly. That's pretty useful, to be fair. Helps us stay ahead. Hey, we turn that off. That'll actually make us some money now. There we go. Did you just get it? Or no, you have to slowly get it. The Ondes, the Confederacy. Constantinius XI sat idly as the local nobles continued to bicker amongst themselves. Did these families lack any sense of common decency? It was just past the break of dawn, and 3 chickens had already gone missing. Sighing, the Basilis silently wished for anything to happen. The garrison must have heard his silent plea as a soldier burst into the chamber, followed by a stumbling cherubim man. The room fell silent as the Basilius shifted in his throne. He smiled. Finally, something to break the monotony of the day. My Basilius, the soldier shouted as the red-faced cherub behind him stuttered to a stop. This merchant brings interesting news from the frontier. Constantinius XI addressed the merchant with an inquisitive look on his face. Is this true, merchant? Yes, my lord. Barbari traders from the north speak of a man who managed to unite the Haudenosaunee tribes. The Barbaris hummed and fought. Most interesting, indeed. A unified Barbari nation could prove to be a most valuable ally. Surely a swift response would prove our intentions pure. However, a strong local power could become a thorn in the foot of our people, a pain felt with every step taken. How should we deal with this? Such is a threat that must be contained and noticed to the surrounding tribes. We are not allowing them to grow. The only one that can grow is moi. Because I'm an ass. But yes. Everything's going pretty well, isn't it? Oh. That's fine. Okay, our new home, that's great. That's done. Beautiful. Let's get you. The Appalachian Mountains. Now that we've established ourselves in the local area, our thoughts must extend to our future expansion efforts. Our explorers have already suggested we're looking to carve pathways through the Appalachian Mountains. It would be hard work, and we may need the natives to provide the majority of the manpower, but the hope is that the movement of our armies and merchants throughout the mountains would be greatly increase. Maybe one day. Okay. Orthodox zealots take to the streets. Following a heated exchange between a Plephanist preacher and a priest, a mob of fanatical faithful have been roused by members of our clergy. This mob descended on the homes of accused heretics. Some have already been killed, but many are still awaiting trial as they are detained by the zealots. This puts us in a precarious position as intervening in any way may signal that we have taken a side. Even intervening just for the sake of sparing those who may be innocent may be seen as an attempt to protect heretics from God's rightful justice. Let them be judged by God. The Plephanists can be neutral with us. Hey, I've just got an immediate 100 buff there. That's what I like to see.